So today we will learn about electromechanical forces in transformer. So electromechanical forces. Why these electromechanical forces would arise in a transformer? First of all, conductors of transformers means the windings lie in magnetic leakage flux region. Do you understand this statement? Conductors of transformers lie in magnetic leakage flux region. Where is this leakage flux region in transformer? So I am drawing here a shell type transformer. So this is the core actually. Where is leakage flux region? Where are the windings here?
At the middle limb.
At the middle. So this is a cross-sectional view of say primary winding. This is primary winding. I am drawing secondary winding again. So this is say secondary winding. This cross-sectional view. Both are actually appear like cylinders. But these cylinders are cut now, so you can only see the legs here. So these windings, these conductors are in the leakage flux region. Leakage flux, main flux flows like this actually, or like this. So this is the main flux. But leakage flux basically flows like this. We have seen and we have drawn the circuit, etc. also. So this is the leakage flux region. So actually for finding the magnitude and direction of these forces, which forces? So conductors, when they lie in leakage flux region, so you might have seen your magnetism books in maybe say 12th class. So in that the current carrying conductors placed in a magnetic field will experience some forces. So these forces, the direction of these forces and the magnitude of these forces, if you want to really estimate accurately, it is necessary to find the leakage flux distribution, of course, which is not so easy. It is difficult. But in the transformer, there are two kinds of forces, the mechanical forces inside the transformer can be classified as internal forces. Internal forces means within same winding as here given here, the forces that appear within same winding due to the same winding actually, or same winding turns. External forces means, the second one, external forces means the effect of one winding on the other winding. So there are two types of forces actually. In the same winding there are forces, but due to other winding, this winding can also experience, the first winding can also experience the forces. Now here we have two basically, in a two circuit, double circuit transformer, primary and secondary we have. So primary and secondary windings. Within the primary windings, will there be forces? And primary to secondary, is there a force? And secondary to primary, is there a force? This is what is the classification that we use here. One is internal forces, another is external forces. So what are these internal forces and external forces? The currents are in phase in all turns of same winding. So consider any winding, one single winding. All the currents in the windings, turns, so are in phase actually. Will there be a phase difference? Same current flows through the winding, right?
Yes, sir.
So the current is in phase. But winding turns, you can see the turns, they will be like this actually, cylindrically like this. I'm just writing here, trying to give an impression that these turns are actually parallel. So current direction, if we assume this is the current direction, then in this also this direction, in this also this direction. So all these conductors or turns are having the same current direction. So currents are in phase also in all the turns of same winding and correspond to parallel conductors with same current direction. These we have learned earlier in our magnetism classes in 12th class, etc. So this corresponds to the conductors, current carrying conductors, with current in the same direction, I. So if you remember, it is proportional to the product of, say, I1 and I2. But here the I is same. It is I square. It is proportional to I square. So what will happen? What kind of force do you expect if there is a current like this? Two current carrying conductors, if they are having same direction, what kind of force do they expect? Will they attract
Attractive.
or repel?
Rip, ripples.
Attractive. Attractive.
They
Rip.
attract each other. So that you please
Okay.
remember. So this force direction will be like this on these conductors. So that is how. So what will happen in the winding? In the winding, so each turn will attract the other turn here. So attractive force will lead to, this leads to all round squeezing of the conductors, a compression kind of thing. So all round squeezing of the conductors, that kind of force will be experienced due to currents in the same winding, that is internal currents. So internal means the forces that occur inside a given winding due to its own current is internal actually. And there is another force or another other type of forces which are external. So currents in the different windings of two circuit transformer approximately opposite to each other, and hence repulsive forces are expected. See, one winding and other winding, exactly phase opposition will be there. A little bit, difference may be there, but that can be neglected. The primary and secondary windings will have opposite currents. For example, primary winding current is going like this. Adjacent layer, above this, you will have the secondary winding, in which the current will be going in the reverse direction, exactly in the reverse direction. So this corresponds to the case in which two conductors having currents and which are in the different direction. This is primary, IP, this is secondary, IS. So in this case, what kind of forces are expected? Repulsive forces are expected. Repulsive forces. So then there are two windings I am drawing again. The transformer, this is the shell type transformer here. And I am drawing just the cross section of primary winding and secondary winding only here. Let this rectangle represent the cross section of one leg, the leg of this primary winding, and then you have above that there is a secondary winding, right? These are two actually cylinders, as I told you. You have to imagine that. Now in this direction, sorry, in this primary, if the current is going, coming out of the paper, out of this plane surface, what I am telling you, and in the secondary winding, the current will in fact go into the paper. Means just to explain you the direction of the current. The direction of the current in primary and secondary.
Sir, when you are showing this cross-sectional view, so one thing I am confused about that it is front view or it is top view.
It is front view. Front view, and you have cut the transformer exactly in the center from the top.
From the top, okay.
You have cut the transformer from
parallel to its height, no, sir.
The surface that is that you are looking is vertical actually. Means if let me tell, z-axis is your.
We are looking the transformer on front of us, and this winding is looking like a cylinder after cutting vertically.
See, I'll give you like this, if you see from the top, how it will be from the top of the transformer, how it will be, this is the primary winding, say, okay, looks like a cylinder, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then you have another winding. This is the secondary winding, right? And in the center, there is a core also. So it looks like this if you see from the top. Now, yes, cut here. Okay. Cut here. This line I have used it now. So in this manner, I have cut it. And view from this side. Cut here and remove this portion. Say this portion you completely remove and view from this side. This side. Do you understand now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clear.
So then it will appear like this. Now the direction of the current will be exactly opposite. Opposite means in this cylinder. Say just like just now you have seen, this is the primary winding top view, and say this is the secondary winding top view. Suppose in the primary winding the current direction is like this. In the secondary winding, the current direction is like this. Opposite, exactly opposite. This is what I have been telling. Do you understand? These two arrows, black arrows, can you see on your screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So these depict the direction of the current. So what will happen? If these two currents are like this, then what kind of forces? Repulsive forces. Repulsive forces means on this winding, this is the direction of the force, right? Do you understand? On the inner winding, what kind of direction, what direction the forces will be? Exactly radially inward. Radially inward. So on the inner winding, that is say primary winding, the forces will be radially inward, and the outer winding, the forces will be radially outward. Okay, is it clear?
Yes,
these forces are due to currents in other winding actually. So because the current direction is reverse, So the effect of primary on secondary and secondary on primary is that results in radial forces. And what kind of forces this internal winding will result? In the same winding, what kind of forces it will it be radial in the same winding?
No, sir.
Here it will be axial actually. It will be axial forces in this direction and this, because they are attracting, right? They're attracting like this, and then the forces will be, for example, if you consider these two windings, these two turns, so they will attract each other. So these forces are axial. Which forces are axial? Internal forces are axial. But external forces means due to other winding, the force on one winding due to other winding, the forces are repulsive in nature, they are radial in nature. And this is about, two circuit winding. There are multiple circuit transformers we have actually, 3 circuits and etc. In that case, the currents may differ in phase angles and all. So in that case, not only repulsive forces, but there may be some attractive forces also because of the phase difference. See, when I am saying the force actually depends on the phase angle. We are having two extreme cases here. One is completely parallel, means completely in phase. That is internal force, what we have discussed just now. And the external forces, because it depends on different windings. If the windings have different phase angles, obviously they will have different kinds of forces also. Yeah, attractive force also, repulsive force also. It all depends on exact case to case. But in a two winding transformer where primary and secondary are there, it is radial force only, and radially they will be repelling each other. So the outer winding will experience a force outside, means outward force, and inner winding radially inward force it will experience. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
I hope it is clear. If you have any questions, you can ask. Now more on this. In general, it may be assumed approximately the forces of interaction between beings pass through the centers of gravity of their longitudinal cross sections and are directed along the straight line connecting them. So this I will explain in next slide actually by drawing and all. So the second point is internal forces will be highest at outer turns, while stress is more on the spacers of middle portion of the winding. This statement, and then next statement, external forces tend to crush the inner winding and burst the outer winding. So this I have explained actually, the last point. Just you can see here itself. This is what, here the inner winding tend to crush, right? Crush means it will be crushing inside, right? And the outer winding, the forces are outside. That means that it is going to burst out, right? So this kind of situation can happen. When the forces exceed certain value, obviously the outer winding is going to burst and the inner winding is going to crush. When transformers experience such forces, huge forces, when do they experience? Any one of you?
During short circuit.
Yeah, during short circuit.
So during
short
excitation.
circuit, heavy current flows. So the force is directly proportional to primary current into secondary current, multiplication of primary current and secondary current. So it is I square roughly. So the short circuit current is several times actually the normal operating current. So that huge current, that force unfortunately is proportional to square of that current. You can imagine. So normally transformers fail due to this short circuit. That's why proper protection is to be adopted for all transformers. Very, very, very important. So this is how it will happen when the currents exceed. So what kind of complete picture we will draw? Just we will see how it will be. So the internal forces here, the next sentence. This sentence you understood. Just now I have shown how the outer winding is going to burst and inner winding is going to crush. And then this is due to external forces, means forces of one winding on the other. Now here one statement is there. Internal sources will be highest at outer turns, while stress is more on the spacers of middle portion of the winding. So this a little bit insight is needed here. Let me draw this here separately. Of course, this heading I'll discuss in a few moments. But before that, I will explain how the internal forces will be in a single winding. Now, this is a single winding, please. This is one winding I am drawing here. This is, you consider these are winding. There is a core in the background. Actually, you are looking this winding like this. So these are various turns. I am not drawing complete turn. Complete turn will be like this. It's not visible to us. So like this. What will happen? This winding, how these turns are placed? These turns are placed with what are known as spacers. Spacers, again, insulating materials made of cellulose only. So spacer, which color I should choose? So spacer. So this is a spacer. Spacer means simply it will hold the winding in this position. So I am drawing these spacers. Actually, they are not exactly one below the other. You will have some gaps, and then they like this actually. So just example I am drawing here. So here these are all spacers. Spacers will simply keep the winding in its position, and these black lines represent turns. Now I am asking for the internal forces, means due to the currents in the same direction, in the same winding. So I'll draw this. So this is the current direction. Say in all the windings, this is current direction. Now my question is, how these forces will be on each turn, and where the force will be maximum. On which turn the force will be maximum. On which turn the force
middle
is
turn.
Sir, at the
minimum.
first and the last.
Yeah, you can see, for example, if you consider this central turn, middle turn, just middle turn you are considering. See, I am talking about electromagnetic force due to currents. Electromagnetic force due to currents. Now consider this middle turn. This turn, the top turn will attract this middle turn upwards, right? Hello. The top turn means this
Yes,
turn I am
yes.
saying, this turn will attract this middle turn upwards. Am I correct or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And what about this bottom turn? What it will do to this middle turn?
It will pull it down.
It will pull it down. So due to this is the force. And due to this is the force on the middle turn. So on the middle turn, exactly middle turn, if both sides, if same number of turns are there, then the net force, net electromagnetic force on the middle turn is 0. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because the forces get cancelled. Electromagnetic forces, equal and opposite forces will be there. Electromagnetic forces will be there on the middle turn. But what about the top turn? This top turn, what all other turns will do to this top turn? What will they do? I am asking about effect of all other turns on the top turn.
Every other turn will pull it down.
Sir, attraction.
All other turns will pull it down, and the net force adds up, and it is highest actually. So the force on the extreme turns, see this turn also and this bottom turn also, these two extreme turns will experience highest force. So this force and this force is the highest force actually. And the middle turns will have least electromagnetic force, and the exactly middle turn may have 0 electromagnetic force. This, do you understand? Is it clear now? Not clear?
Clear, sir. It's clear, sir.
Okay. Now my question is, there are spacers. So I have shown this yellow color one. There are spacers which hold the winding rigidly. Now my question is, which spacer will experience highest stress? Middle spacer or end spacer? This is the end spacer. This is a middle spacer. Which spacer will experience highest stress?
I think the middle one.
Huh?
The middle one because
Yeah.
Middle.
Middle spacer will experience highest stress. Then it is not the top spacer. So when we talk about electromagnetic forces are high on the edge or end turns. Electromagnetic forces are high in end turns. But the transformer winding is mechanically rigidly connected. This electromagnetic force get translated into it gets transferred to the middle turn also, middle spacer also. Now consider this middle spacer. On this middle spacer, all the forces on one conductor, second conductor, third conductor, all will add up and will will appear. The force will appear this side, and this side also equal and opposite force will appear. So, and this spacer will get highest stress due to these forces. F. This F is high in the middle portion. This is not the same for outer spacers. The other spacers will experience less and less stress. So, and if some crushing happens due to high current and all, then middle spacer will be more susceptible to crushing. So they should be strong enough. So this is what I would like to say by the previous statement, that internal forces will be highest at outer turns, while stress is more on the spacers of middle portion of the winding. So I hope this is clear to you. Then there is there are concentric winding of equal length. Now let us discuss the various cases in which how the forces will be in the transformer. That is windings of equal length, windings of unequal length, how the forces will be. So that already this statement is there. In general, it may be assumed approximately that the forces of interaction between the windings pass through the centers of gravity. See, because the winding after all is rigidly connected actually. It is rigidly placed in the transformer with spacers, with winding turns, and then there will be very tight winding actually. They will be rigidly tightly packed actually. So therefore, we can consider the centers of gravity of their longitudinal sections, and the forces are directed along the straight line connecting them. So this can be used for the analysis. So that's what I would like to put it here. Now let us consider the transformer having windings of equal length. This is core. I'm drawing one side of the transformer only. Now let me draw the first winding. And the second winding. These windings are of equal height now in this case. Now two cross sections are given here. Now how the forces I should indicate on these actually? In which direction I should indicate? Internal forces. Let us draw first internal forces.
Axially, sir.
Axial forces are internal forces. So internal forces can be depicted like this, From top it is, a crushing force like this. So like this. These are internal forces. Do you agree? Everyone agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, due to external forces, how shall I depict? In which direction?
Outside the winding and inner the winding.
So for outer winding
That's
it is
radial.
outside, and for inner winding it is inside. In fact, we can, as just now I told you, you can consider the center of gravity, and there these forces can be depicted. So this is how the forces in a concentric winding of equal length transformer, the forces will appear. So you can translate these forces to the center of gravity also, and then find out the resultant forces, etc. Now the next one is, let us consider windings of unequal lengths. Windings of unequal lengths, for example, consider the winding. This is primary, and the secondary winding is in the middle actually. but shorter than this. Like this. Secondary winding. Secondary winding is shorter and middle.
Sir, can you just show the previous page, please? Yes, sir, done.
Now here, the two windings are drawn here. They are not of equal height. One is, the primary is height is more than secondary height is less. So in this case, how the forces will be? So actually there is a asymmetry in heights. So radial forces, see there is a repulsion between the two windings, right? So for example, if you consider turns in this portion, and what is the turns in this portion and turn in this portion. So this kind of force you will see, right? And you consider turn at the top of the primary and turn at the top of the secondary, then this kind of force you will see. So for analyzing such cases, what we do is we consider the two windings. This is first winding and this is second winding, and it becomes easier to analyze considering then 2 points actually symmetrically located. Maybe you can assume that the windings are exactly at the center. They are divided into 2 parts, and you are considering the center of gravity of each half of the winding. So that makes it easy for the analysis. Now the force will be the radial force, opposing force will be along the lines joining these two center of gravities, like this, and here like this. And these two attractive forces they have, and these two will have the forces upward, the component downward. These are due to external forces. These are just due to external forces. Now, again, here the compressive force on this winding due to internal forces, and again the compressive force on this winding due to internal forces. Let us denote internal forces by FB, FB, or FB, FB. And then these forces you can denote as radial forces, FR, FR, etc. And FR can be divided into two components, that is one along the axis and other along the radial direction, like this. These are two, there are two components. Main is this along the axis only you consider, that is along the line joining these two points only. For example, I'll show you. So this is the main force line, and this is the main force line of this. So these can be divided into two
Sir,
components.
this radial force is into external force, no?
This is external. Yes, this is external, but it also has the component in the axial direction. That's what I am highlighting here. Axial and radial component, both it has. See, the external force is the force of one winding on the other, right? So for example, on the secondary winding, due to primary. This is along this line, and this component can be divided into two components. That is like this. This component means the external force can be divided into two components. One is radial component, that can be said as FR, and here FR. So the external forces can be divided into radial components and axial components also. This is F axial, we say indicate as better L is the symbol is good. Yes, FL along the longitudinal or something like that. And this is also FL. And here this is also FL. And this is also FL. Now, due to radial forces, due to external forces, what kind of axial force will be the primary will be experiencing? Due to external forces, what kind of force the primary will be experiencing? Axial force. I'm talking about axial force. Of course, you know, the net radial force,
Actually outwards, sir.
it is outwards. An interesting thing here you have to understand is this is actually opposing the internal forces of the primary. It is in the opposite direction to the internal forces of the primary. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Then what about the secondary?
Sir, please repeat whatever you said just.
I am saying that this is the internal this component, this whatever is FB is denoted here, na? It is downwards,
Yes,
right? And you see this component,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. That will oppose. Okay.
this is upwards. So both are opposing each other. That's what I want to say.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
And on the secondary, if you observe, it is exactly reverse. Right?
Yes, sir. The
Yes.
opposite.
So it is trying to do like this kind of thing. The setup under extremely high these currents, the outer wind, the shorter winding tries to crush longitudinally, and the longer winding tries to burst longitudinally. So this is the interesting feature that you have to understand. Next, I'll give you this rather as an exercise for you. Now consider the windings like this. Consider two windings like this. This is first winding, and you have part of a second winding like this here. Sorry, another part of second winding like this. Now, how the forces will be, just draw for your exercise and all. I'll give the hint. Divide this winding into two parts with its center of gravity, and here also two parts center of gravity, and then draw the forces. Of course, this center of gravity is a little bit above, so above the level. So you can see this is the level. This is a little bit above this center of gravity of this half or this small winding. So that you have to use, and axis joining them will be like this, a little bit slant line. So just try to draw yourself the force directions, etc. Now we will deal with we will deal with more on this in the next class.